good? All right. Good evening, everyone. I'll call to order the regular meeting of the Hampton Township Council for Wednesday, November 19th, 2025, and we will start with the pledge. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Blackburn?
Present.
Ms. Fritsch?
Present.
Mr. Midgley? Mr. Sholey?
Present.
Dr. Johnson?
Present.
Mr. Speakman?
Present.
Mr. Midgley is excused this evening. All right, first amendment on the agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the regular meeting held Wednesday, October 22nd, and the agenda meeting held Wednesday, November 5th, 2025?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Blackburn?
Favor?
Ms. Fritsch?
Favor.
Mr. Sholey?
Favor.
Dr. Johnson?
Favor. All right, citizens' agenda matters. If anyone has anything that they would like to address to council, this is the time to please step to the microphone and state your name and address and your concern. All right, moving on to administration then, please. Item A.
Yes, this is an annual exercise. We're just looking for request for authorization to advertise an RFP for our tax anticipation note in the amount of $1.5 million. This is used to fund our large debt service payment that occurs in January. So we'll be seeking, with the RFPs finalized, I'll be sending it out tomorrow morning to about 7 different financial institutions based in the township.
Anyone have any questions about this item? All right, then can I get a motion to authorize the manager to request RFPs for the 2026 tax and revenue anticipation note in the amount of $1.5 million?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Fritsch?
Favor?
Mr. Sholey?
Favor.
Ms. Blackburn?
Favor?
Dr. Johnson?
Favor.
The next item is a recommendation from both myself and Mr. Speakman to transfer up to $300,000 from the 2025 general fund operating budget to our capital improvement fund for next year to fund the capital improvement program. Mr. Speakman had noted this in his budget narrative. We're only seeking up to $300,000. We would not transfer any more money than allowed, than revenues exceeded expenses by the end of this year, and we will report back on what the final transfer number is in January. Jerry, if you have anything you'd like to add?
Nope.
Okay.
Covers it.
Anyone have any questions? All right,
Okay.
can I get a motion to transfer up to $300,000 from the 2025 general fund operating budget to the capital improvement fund budget per the controller and the manager's recommendation?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Sholey?
Favor.
Ms. Blackburn?
Favor?
Ms. Fritsch?
Favor?
Dr. Johnson?
Favor.
The next item is an award of our contract, an extension of our contract with Jordan Tax Service to collect real estate taxes in the township for the next 4 years, so that'd be 2026 through 2029. We discussed at the agenda meeting, follow up to a question from Mr. Sholey. I did actually seek a proposal from Berkheimer Tax Services, which is the largest tax collection company in this state, and they're making more of a presence out this way. Their proposal would result in a savings of about $812. So the difference between about $17,000 and $16,200 annually for the service. The thing with Berkheimer and talking to them, I don't think they're going to be able to staff the building to the extent that Jordan Tax Service does over here in the Fights building during the early payment and face value periods. And I know that's very popular. I can tell you we all move our parking spaces during that time. It's very popular with our residents. So in that and knowing obviously Jordan has the familiarity with our stormwater fee as well as they are the tax collector for the school district, I'd still recommend Jordan. I think that savings is nominal compared to the service you're getting, especially during those high tax payment periods. So,
Well, and wouldn't there be, I can only imagine that there's like some logistics involved. I would imagine there'd be like a switching cost too, right?
It's more of a heavy lift administratively as opposed to the cost in terms of that. So it's more, I don't think you would see a ton of startup fee with this, because for them, it's just, they get the tax duplicate from the county and they
Okay.
just plug in the bills.
Oh,
But again, I think the service in and of itself is more worth it's worth a lot more than $800. I'd just say that.
Okay.
Anyone else have any questions?
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Yeah.
the due diligence.
Yeah.
All right, did anyone else have any questions? All right, then can I get a motion to award the contract for collection of the 2026 through 2029 real estate taxes to Jordan Tax Services per the manager's memo dated October 30th?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call. Ms. Blackburn?
Favor?
Ms. Fritsch?
Favor.
Mr. Shorley?
Favor.
Dr. Johnson?
Favor. All right, the next item is the North Hills Council of Governments report. However, the executive board meeting is tomorrow evening, so I will defer to the manager if there is anything to bring to your attention.
There was nothing from the last meeting, no.
All right, Water Authority monthly report. Anything to add, or does anyone have any questions?
Nothing to
There was some talk about the new billing system. Do we know? I mean, do we know?
I just got it in the mail today,
Yeah.
actually.
So they're switching billing?
Yeah, they are.
So
They are.
everybody has to adopt the new.
Yes.
So if you have an auto payment, it no longer will work?
That is my understanding, that
Okay.
you have to re-register your ACH
All right.
under their current bill. Because it was funny, I actually went to sign up for ACH a couple weeks ago, and they said, wait till the new billing system's in
Got it.
place, so,
Okay.
yes.
That was not clear. Thank
I
you.
got an email about it
Yeah.
today, that yes, we have to go through the
Yeah.
process again. Right, engineers monthly report. Anything to add, or are there any questions? Legal counsel monthly report.
Thank you, Madam President. I have nothing to add to my report.
Any questions? All right, controllers monthly report.
I don't have anything.
It seemed like you had to think about that for a second.
Well, I just, I was.
Just
I was trying to
waited,
rope you in
pause.
A little bit, but yeah, no, we spent quite enough time together, nothing has changed in the last 2 weeks, so.
All right, thank you.
Yes, we did.
Information technology monthly report. Is there anything to add or any questions?
Nothing to add other than, and I know everyone here knows it, but Mr. Zek, who's been our IT director for over 20 years, will be retiring in February. So, and we've identified a candidate for his replacement.
I do have one thing that I wanted to note, which is that council is usually one of the lowest scoring groups in terms of completing the cybersecurity training. So I just want to encourage everyone to complete the training, as, I mean, quite frankly, the sophistication of some of the scams is getting really alarming.
Yeah.
And I find the cybersecurity training useful not only for this, but for my own life. So I would encourage you all to consider completing that.
I thought it was spam and ignored it. I'm joking.
And that's the best
I'm
answer,
joking.
right?
That is the best answer.
That was good.
I'm just kidding.
I have nothing to add to the library report unless there are any questions. All right, public safety then, please.
I have nothing to add.
EMS report then, please.
I, of course, always have something to add. Appreciate the opportunity. So you should all have received the data packets. Just a couple of quick highlights on that. We did 133 calls in Hampton for the month. That's 18 less than the previous October. Year-to-date, we're 1,429 calls in Hampton, 25 year-to-date more than the previous year. Overall, did 548 calls for the entire service area, a decrease of 8, and year-to-date, 5,741, an increase of 180 overall. Next page is just our response times. Super thrilled with that. You know, we started with this several months ago, and looking at our out-the-door times, and we were down to 2 variances this month out of 500, and what did I say? 548 responses. That's a really low incidence, and they were very minor transgressions at the most, certainly with no effect on patient outcomes. And then lastly, I just think it's kind of interesting to look at. There's 2 graphs at the end. One is the number of EMS calls per day, and this is what we deal with in trying to staff appropriate and all those kind of things. we see that on the, looks like about the 5th of the month, we had 25 calls that day, and then later in the month, we had a day where we had 10. You know, and you see that variance from day to day and times of the day and those kind of things. And if you look at time of the day when the calls occur, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, we have 1 or 2 calls at that hour throughout the entire month. 3 o'clock or 3 p.m., 50. So that, you know, you can predict somewhat the flow of the business by the time of the day, and that's why we staff only 2 ambulances overnight, 1 here and 1 in Shaler, but 3 during the day because of those variances. But we continue to follow that trend. We've gotten great feedback on the stuff we're sharing, all this, the things we're sharing with you. We put on Facebook now, and continue to do that. I hope you took a look at the patient feedback surveys. Continue to follow those closely and get overwhelmingly positive responses. Had a couple of concerns this month that we don't know who the respondent is unless they tell us. One had a concern and didn't share who they were. One had a concern and shared who they were. We followed up and really worked through that issue and don't believe it to be a large issue. And that's it with the data, unless there's any questions about that specifically. All right. And then just a couple other points. Looking forward to the 4th and the Santa Spartacular and all the events we're going to for the holidays for the next couple of weeks. And then yesterday, I got a phone call, looked at my cell phone, and it was Senator Williams. If you haven't seen it yet, fantastic news. We had an ambulance, our 5th out ambulance, that we had not planned on replacing. We use it for special events, you know, those kind of things, and it rotates into service occasionally to keep it working. And but the last times we tried to put it in, it broke 6 times in a row. We worked with our board to make the difficult decision to make an unexpected purchase of a new ambulance at about $300,000. Certainly hoping that we'd be able to secure grant funding to do so. In 2021, we got 2 new ambulances. One of those was grant funded. In 2024, we got 2 more new ambulances. One of those was grant funded. And the call from Senator Williams was that this one they were putting $214,000 towards the $280,000 cost. So super happy about that. Senator Williams, Representatives Powell, Schaefer, and Venkat all helped us out with great communication ahead of time and really pushed for it. Senator Williams, you know, she had 20-some requests into her office for funding, and obviously there's a finite amount of money. So we're very happy for that. And that's all I have, unless there's any other questions. Awesome. Thank you all.
Thank you. Congratulations on the grant. That's wonderful. All right. Anything else for public safety, Chief? Nothing. All right. Community services then, please.
Okay, yeah, sure. This is just a resolution updating our community center membership fees. Ms. Martino was at our agenda meeting last month and then at our agenda meeting this month to talk about the update. Most of these fees were last raised in 2017. Since then, CPI has gone up like 32%. What she's proposing actually would simplify a lot of these fees, and the increase that is being proposed is nowhere near what the consumer price index has gone up. So I know I'm recommending, as well as Ms. Martino, that we adopt the resolution updating our community center membership fees.
Did anyone have any questions about this item? Resolution number, please.
1117.
All right, can I get a motion to adopt resolution number 1117, updating the community center membership fees per the Parks and Recreation Program Administrator's recommendation?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Fritsch?
Favor.
Mr. Shuley?
Favor.
Ms. Blackburn?
Favor.
Dr. Johnson?
Favor. All right, next item.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. This evening, bringing to your attention that the SHACOG recently opened their bid packages for the fall commodities for the contract year October 30th, 25 through October 29th, 2026. And this evening, I'm recommending that council award contracts for calcium chloride. There's no change in price from last year. Liquid calcium chloride, there's a few cents difference in an increase from last year's rates. And then snow plow blades and cutting edges, there's an increase between $1 and $4 compared to last year, but we do go through the blades, and I would recommend award of those 3 contracts.
All right, did anyone have any questions? right, then can I get a motion to award contracts through the Shaycog Fall Commodities Purchasing Program per the Assistant Township Manager's recommendation in the memo dated November 13th?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Shuley,
Favor.
Ms. Blackburn,
Favor.
Ms. Fritsch,
Favor.
Dr. Johnson.
Favor.
Thank you.
All right, anything to add to the Public Works or Parks and Recreation monthly reports?
I have nothing unless you have any questions.
And anything else? All right, Environmental Services, please.
Thank you, Madam President. Beyond my monthly report, I just wanted to inform council, our contractor has been working diligently to try to get things wrapped up as quickly as possible. They are right now trying to get things prepared for paving internally in the plant. That process, we were hoping would start later this week, but at this point, they're looking at Monday or Tuesday of next week to begin. Again, this work will start inside the plant before we go anywhere near Toner Avenue. And they are well aware that we have to have plenty of heads up so we can let our residents on Toner Avenue know what's going on in advance. So, just a quick update on the paving.
All right, anyone
That's all
have
I
any
have.
questions? All right, sewer plant construction update report, please.
I'll just continue a little bit from what Jim was just talking about. I know that both Mr. Jaworski and Mr. Degnan know this, but all the work with regard to the last reporting periods have been all with regard to the office building and the storage pavilion and the flood retaining wall. They are attempting to try and complete this project by the end of the year, but realistically, I just don't see how that's going to happen. Between weather conditions and what they have left to do, you're going to be somewhere into the spring of next year for what I would consider to be punch list cleanup items, especially on the HVAC side, and also with regard to final grading in the facility. There was a meeting that was held on Monday between myself, Mr. Jaworski, Mr. Speakman, and Mr. Omasini. We're attempting to try and get to the same number with regard to what we believe will be the carryover balance. The good news is that all of us agree it will be a positive number. If you want to call it the bad news, it's going to float somewhere between $1 million and $1.5 million, give or take. If Mr. Speakman's correct, it'll be $1.6 million. I'm somewhere $1,564,000, give or take. But either way, we do feel very confident that there will be funds that will be left over with regard to it. In the report you have this evening, you're comparing contracts. If you take a look at how Mr. Speakman looks at it and how Mr. Omasini looks at it, and they should, they look at the full scope of the whole project, including the engineering, the landscaping, everything. This report just looks at the contracts mainly between Mealy and Clista, and I'm now showing somewhere around $700,000 on a carryover, give or take. I also know that there's most likely going to be a minimum $100,000 credit that Mealy will most likely be given to the township at the end of the project as well. So we're doing very well. It's just a matter now of cleaning up the little things that when you get to the end of a project this size. I can tell you that you will be having discussions with Mr. Degnan and Mr. Jaworski well into next year with regard to little things here and there that will need to be taken care of. But the majority, Ryan's smiling.
Oh, yeah.
But the majority of the tasks are being completed, and the paving is something that we'll see if they can get to it or not. That's kind of a double-edged sword. I don't know. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. I will make one, if I could make one quick comment.
Of course.
On behalf of the Hampton-Shayla Water Authority Board, we heard you. As a matter of fact, we had a meeting on Monday night, and we were most distraught about some of the problems with regard to the changeover and what we consider to be lack of communication that was necessary. That's why I believe you got an email today. There have been some discussions with regard to it, but what you should know is if you pay by check, or if you do an electronic payment, in other words, this comes out of your account and it goes through a clearinghouse, you're still okay. If it's a direct take from your account to the water authority, that's where you're running into the dilemmas. we've made some significant cost-saving changes with regard to our software packages. And that's the reason why we're going through this. But there's some dilemmas we need to go through. Also, you should be aware of the fact that there is a letter that will be coming to Mr. Jurovsky most likely the next week that will tell you that the rates with regard to the water operations are going to increase 20 cents on quantity and $2 on set right to serve, which is basically our capital improvement fund. We can't get around it. S&P came in and took a look at our operations and said that we're not carrying big enough balances. For us, that's very important because in the next 24 months, we're looking at probably a $10 million bond issue. We have to do $8 million worth of work in Sharpsburg with regard to lead pipe repairs as well as the construction of 2 brand new tanks down there. So we must have our current S&P rating as high as we can get it. So we had no choice but to take a look at some rate adjustments. If after, Ron, you get that letter, myself or Tim, either one of us would be more than happy to show up before you so we can tell you exactly what's going on and why and whatever. And that's another thing we've asked. Ian Ferguson will become the new director of the Water Authority. He will be making periodic visits to all of the boards for all of our customers to let you know more and more what's going on. We do think there is a communications problem with regard to the Water Authority's operations and what the municipalities are hearing. You shouldn't be hearing it as a customer. You should be hearing it from us, from board to board. So we're going to try and take a shot at improving that over the next couple of months. But that one, we've caught an earful. We deserve the earful, and we're working to try and rectify as fast as we can. And I know that's outside of sewer, but I just thought you should know that.
Thank you for the
Thank you.
update on that as
Yeah.
well. Jim, anything else?
I have nothing else unless there are questions.
All right, zoning and planning, please.
Thank you, Madam President. First item tonight's request for release of funds from the improvement security for the First National Bank revised site plan. This was approved in 2023. Since then, they have been steadily completing work on the site, and they are now pretty much all done. There's some final seeding on the pond that needs to be completed, so we are retaining $10,000 in the bond for that amount. The recommendation from Gateway is the release of the remaining amount, which would be $620,025. So I am also recommending that approval tonight.
Anyone have any questions? All right, then can I get a motion to release funds in the amount of $620,000 and $620,025 from the improvement security for the First National Bank revised site plan application 23-05, retaining $10,000 per the land use administrator's memo dated November 14th.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Blackburn,
Favor?
Ms. Fritsch,
Favor.
Mr. Schuley,
Abstain, please.
Dr. Johnson.
Favor.
Okay, thank you for that. The next item is the Rylands preliminary / final subdivision / lot consolidation. This is a very minor land development application involving 2 existing lots on Middle Road, and they will be reconfiguring the lines to create a 3rd vacant lot, which they can build on at some point in the future. All engineering items have been resolved, and there is a memo at your seats with proposed conditions of approval. I'm sorry, I didn't trust myself with uploading it, and I got it done after Colleen left, so she was there to help me, as she usually is. So it's at your seats the old way. But there's nothing on there other than just the standard conditions. So I am recommending approval of that tonight.
Anyone have any questions? All right, then can I get a motion to approve the Rylands preliminary and final subdivision and lot consolidation plan application 25-07 per the land use administrator's memo dated November 14th, subject to and contingent upon the conditions as outlined in the November 19th memo.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Fritsch,
Favor.
Mr. Schuley,
Favor.
Ms. Blackburn,
Favor?
Dr. Johnson.
Favor.
Okay, thank you for that as well. Next item, I would defer to Ryan.
No, that's fine. This is a request from Strategic Solutions doing our zoning and saldo rewrite for a change order. The total request is for an additional $10,000. It amounts to an additional 85 hours. They're looking for another 85 hours of time. I know I had a response. Mr. Midgley had asked some questions. He and I exchanged a few emails. Based on my calculations of their billing through the end of last month, I believe, they had expended 442 hours. The total budgeted hours for the project on their end was 460. Given what we still have until adoption of the ordinance, knock on wood, adoption of the ordinance in February of next year, I'm thinking 85 hours is probably sufficient. I don't think this is, and I'll take as much blame as anyone. I think looking at it in terms of this project, this was a very heavy lift. Given the age of the ordinances and a lot of the inconsistencies, I don't think anyone anticipated the amount of time they've put in. There are some things outside of scope. They've also had to do establishment of some facade standards. They still have to get review comments from the county, which I've gotten those, and those could be really voluminous. In the past, I've gotten them, I should say. And they obviously have to appear before Planning Commission and Council for several public hearings. So I would recommend approval of the change order. I think it's sufficient given the time they're going to be putting in addition to this project and the time they've already put in and sort of a lot of the back and forth we've had at the steering committee. So.
Anyone have any questions?
And this is in the budget. I'm sorry, I should have added the draft budget for 2026. This would be an expense next year. It is in the draft budget for 2026 under capital outlay in the planning department.
I would agree, there was a lot of back and forth in the steering committee. It is a heavy lift.
We got that impression when we had the joint meeting.
I do think the end result will be very good, though. I would just say that.
I agree, yes.
All right, and if there are no questions, can I get a motion to approve the change order from Strategic Solutions in the amount of $10,000 for the zoning ordinance and saldo rewrite per the manager's memo dated November 4th?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Shuley,
Favor.
Ms. Blackburn,
Favor?
Ms. Fritsch,
Favor.
Dr. Johnson.
Favor.
And I have nothing to add to my report unless there are questions.
All right, old business.
Santa Sparktacular Holiday Event, December 4th, be at the community center. And then, obviously, Susan, you'll be Mrs. Claus this year for the fire department Santa Claus store. Dress warm. Dress warm.
If we dress warm, maybe it won't be as bitterly cold as it was last year.
Brutal.
All right, new business. Does anyone have anything that they would like to add this evening?
Just two things on my end. We were informed, similar to how Eric Schmidt got a call from Senator Williams, I got a call from Representative Jeremy Schaefer. We were in receipt of a GEDTF grant. It's the same program they got the ambulance for in the amount of $40,000 for upgrades to community park pavilions. Representative Schaefer was a big supporter of that. He really pushed it hard. Obviously, Representative Venkat and Senator Williams helped as well, but I have to give Representative Schaefer credit. He was the one who kind of got that over the finish line. Miss Martino actually prepared that grant. That was the first grant she ever prepared, and it was awarded, so she's very, very happy. She's pretty ecstatic. So, yeah, that was a great day for her yesterday. The only other thing, and I sent an email about this to council, our capital improvement program next year includes a $35,000 allotment to replace the uninterruptible power supply in this building. It's 20 years old, and I was hoping it would last till January. One of the battery backups on it just failed last week, and it was beeping incessantly Rob, you woke up to that, so. Yeah, so I think this might be something we have to act on sooner and order sooner than that. So it may be something where we order it, just given the time frame it takes to get a piece of equipment like this, it's several months. If any more of those battery backups fail, it's going to be in a lot of trouble. That it regulates power coming into the township building and into the municipal building to our servers, to our laptops. It's a very important piece of equipment. So we may have to purchase it much sooner. If we do that, I'll be sure to let council know and report on it in December. That's all I have.
Just out of curiosity, what's like the cost of one of those?
It's realistically, it's the estimate we got today. Between the actual cost of purchasing it and the install, I don't think it'd be more than $25,000. But this year's capital improvement program got me paranoid, so I upped the number a little bit.
Does that give our controller any heartburn? Jerry, any concerns? All right. Anyone else have anything for new business? All right, then we will adjourn to an executive session to discuss legal and personnel matters. Thank you, everyone, for coming this evening.